I'm a Western chauvinist.
I'm a Western chauvinist!
I refuse to apologize.
I refuse to apologize!
For creating the modern world.
For creating the modern world!
This is the Proud Boys' oath. Saying it out loud is the first step towards joining the right-wing extremist group.
And you have to believe that the West is the best, that Western civilization is the best civilization on Earth, and it's something that you cherish.
Enrique Tarrio is the Proud Boys' current leader. And over the past 4 years, he's seen the group grow from a few guys in a bar to thousands of members across the United States. They've been labeled a hate group. The FBI says they have ties to white nationalism. And on January 6th, they joined armed Trump supporters in an insurrection at the Capitol.
I would say the Proud Boys are one of the most dangerous extremist organizations in America.
But for members of a fringe organization, the Proud Boys have done a pretty good job of inserting themselves into mainstream American politics.
White Proud Boys and right Proud Boys, stand back and stand by.
So how did a group of right-wing extremists rise to the main stage of American politics, to become the president's self-appointed defenders? And will they fall under a new administration?
Go home to mommy! Go home to mommy! Give me a punishment! No, go home to mommy!
Insider recorded an exclusive interview with Enrique Tarrio, the leader of the Proud Boys.
I've kind of always been a Proud Boy. I've always had these values, and I wasn't a group guy. Like I've been an activist for 18 years, but I've never joined a group, you know? And I decided to join this one because it was a little different. It was based on comedy. It's based on fun.
It all started with a guy named Gavin McInnes. He's been a big media personality since the 1990s. He actually co-founded Vice Media. But these days, he's more famous for making racist, sexist, and all kinds of other offensive remarks on his streaming show.
I think my favorite monkey has to be Barack Obama.
Here's the deal, dude. I am a total fervent racist. But I married an Indian because I'm cleaning up the racism.
Back in 2008, McInnes left Vice because of creative differences. His views started to get more and more extreme. And in 2015, he founded the Proud Boys.
I'll make you proud, boy.
That song is from the musical Aladdin.
I'll make you proud of your boy.
And that sort of is the moral of the Proud Boys. Where we seem like pussies, we're named after a Broadway show tune. We wear black and yellow, Fred Perry's, but we'll murder you. We will kill you. Because we're full of hate. We want to make America hate again.
And this is where you might notice Gavin McInnes sounding, in a way, like someone else you know.
We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Since the Trump presidency began, these groups are kind of emboldened by Trump's rhetoric to kind of get out there and be more in the mainstream.
Rachel E. Greenspan covers far-right extremism for Insider. She says Donald Trump opened the doors for a group of men who felt like society had wronged and emasculated them. And then Gavin McInnes took things one step further. He gave these men a purpose and a name.
You know the most dangerous gangs? They have names like the Crybabies and the Mama's Boys. That's who we are. We're the Proud Boys.
And something that was a joke isn't so much of a joke anymore, is it?
USA! 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 USA!
By 2016, McInnes' gang of Proud Boys had turned into a real organization with a set of rules. To join, you had to take the Proud Boys' oath.
Which is, I am a Western chauvinist.
I am a Western chauvinist!
And I refuse to apologize. For creating the modern world.
Experts who study extremism say West could be interpreted as code for white, and some current and former Proud Boys have documented ties to white supremacist groups. Tarrio, who's Cuban American, says he's proof that's not true.
We're not white supremacists.
But you have admitted in the past that the group has attracted some members who hold white supremacist views.
Yes. You know why? If the media is constantly saying, these guys are white supremacists, a white supremacist sees this and is like, oh, you know what? I have a home here. But the truth is that they don't.
In the context of Proud Boys, they will say, we're really just misunderstood, the media has us wrong. This is how I came to understand the group.
Samantha Kuttner studies the Proud Boys and how they recruit. As part of that, she's talked to dozens of current and former members, and she's noticed an important pattern. When you call them out, the Proud Boys say they're not extremist. They're not a hate group.
Proud Boys is a patriot club. Actually, no, I'm sorry. A drinking club with a patriot problem instead of the other way around.
They are not a fraternal drinking organization. They are a radicalization vector. There are arrests. There's violence. These are things that you can't deny.
By 2017, the Proud Boys were earning a reputation, not as a harmless boys club, but for showing up as self-declared bodyguards at Trump rallies around the country. Some wore helmets and brought weapons. The police made arrests. Meanwhile, some people thought President Trump was encouraging that kind of behavior among his supporters.
Any guy that can do a body slam, he's my kind. He's my guy.
And then, in August 2017, the Proud Boys became explicitly linked to violent extremism. A group of white nationalists organized a rally in Charlottesville, Virginia. The mastermind was Jason Kessler, a member of the Proud Boys.
Do y'all have a problem with an uppity white person who's proud of who they are?
Some Proud Boys marched along with neo-Nazis and other members of the alt-right. You could hear them chanting,
"You will not replace us! You will not replace us!"
Fights broke out with counter-protesters, and one of them, Heather Heyer, was killed in a car attack. Charlottesville made national news. In a press conference, President Trump said,
Yes, I think there's blame on both sides. You look at...
Almost immediately, Gavin McInnes and the Proud Boys started to walk back their involvement. McInnes kicked Jason Kessler out of the group.
Gavin, I know you're gonna see this. Be proud of your boys, man.
Enrique Tarrio denies Kessler was even ever a member of the Proud Boys.
Jason Kessler showed up to a vetting meetup, and this was before Charlottesville, and he was denied membership.
But Insider obtained video of Jason Kessler reciting the Proud Boys' oath, the first step towards joining the group.
I'm a proud Western chauvinist.
Do you refuse to apologize for creating the modern world?
I do refuse to apologize for creating the modern world.
Do not apologize.
And of him earning the Proud Boys' second degree. To do that, members have to list the names of 5 breakfast cereals while being punched by other Proud Boys.
Rice Krispies, Raisin Bran, Meat Mix.
We reached out to Enrique Tarrio for comment. He says Kessler was denied membership shortly after this video was recorded. But according to court records obtained by Insider, Kessler said under oath that he was a member for a couple of months, and he was kicked out after the rally in Charlottesville. In our interview, Enrique Tarrio told us white supremacists are not his problem.
I'll be honest with you. People with those views are allowed to hold those views. They should hold those views. Do I think it's stupid? Yes, I think it's stupid. But like, who am I to police someone's thought? You get me? As long as they're not hurting anybody, let them do whatever they want. It's not my problem.
In the last decade, right-wing extremists have been responsible for the majority of terrorist attacks and attempted attacks in the United States. And last October, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security said it expects racially and ethnically motivated violent extremists to remain the most persistent and lethal threat in the United States.
And this is why it's hard to detect groups like the Proud Boys, because you're not going to be looking for the type of extremism that comes wrapped in the American flag.
What would you say to reports that members of the Proud Boys are violent? You were saying before it's always in self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
Is it always in self-defense?
It's always been in self-defense. I always ask this, I never get an answer. I'm dying for somebody to give me a pointed question or a pointed incident where the Proud Boys either initiated a fight or instigated a fight to happen.
Well, I have one for you. So, 2 Proud Boys were sentenced for 4 years in prison last year for attacking left-wing protesters.
In 2018, Gavin McInnes spoke at the Metropolitan Republican Club in New York City. A group of Proud Boys got in a fight with some anti-fascist protesters outside the building.
They said it was in self-defense, but the New York Times obtained security footage that shows they started the attack.
Oh my God. Oh my God. No. Oh my God.
There's 2 Proud Boys sitting in prison for 4 years for defending themselves. And there's nothing that anybody is going to do to make me apologize for defending ourselves.
Tario says he doesn't believe the Proud Boys started it, and he thinks they were unfairly prosecuted. But at their sentencing in 2019, a New York State Supreme Court judge compared their actions to what was going on in Nazi Germany during the 1930s. Facebook and Instagram banned the Proud Boys organization from their platforms, and they took down Gavin McInnes' accounts. And then McInnes announced he was leaving the Proud Boys, the group he started. Enrique Tarrio ran to replace him. He says he was voted in unanimously.
We've never changed direction. We've never changed what we're about. But we've kind of become, I guess, a symbol of fighting back. Because up until that point, conservatives weren't fighting back.
Under Tarrio's leadership, the Proud Boys have taken it upon themselves to jump to President Trump's defense around the country. They've marched in Sacramento, Kalamazoo, Washington, D.C., and Portland. And at every stop, Tarrio wore a bulletproof vest and said the same thing. We are not the aggressors. We're here to protect Americans.
The truth is that this is all about love. Love for each other and love for our country.
And that is how the Proud Boys ended up on the biggest stage in America, the first presidential debate. More than 73 million people were watching.
So what are you saying?
I'm willing to do anything. I want to see peace.
Then do it, sir.
Say it. Do it. Say it. Do you want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me a name. Give me a
white
name.
Supremacists and
who would you like me to condemn?
White supremacists and right
Proud Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem. This is a left-wing. This is a left-wing problem.
White supremacists. Antifa's an...
It was a gift to the Proud Boys. Before the debate, Tarrio says his chapter in Florida had less than 200 members.
And we have right now sitting in the application process, we have about 700 to 800 members that are trying to join. So I kind of want to thank Joe Biden for that. You know, I think his mention on the debate stage opened a lot of people's eyes.
Today, Tarrio says the Proud Boys have more than 20,000 members worldwide. But some experts think the real number is probably much, much lower. Since the election, many members of the group have refused to accept Trump's loss. Hundreds of them showed up in Washington, D.C. for the Million MAGA March and Stop the Steal protest. And 2 weeks before the inauguration, Enrique Tarrio was arrested as part of an FBI investigation into individuals with intentions to cause violence at the Capitol on January 6th. He was carrying 2 high-capacity firearm magazines, which he told officers he was returning to a customer. He was charged for this and an unrelated offense. The day after he was released, some Proud Boys participated in the attempted coup at the Capitol building.
Let's get in there! Let's go! Come on!
This is the people's house!
Tarrio told Insider he was not in D.C. during the siege. But earlier that week, an account on the social media platform Parler, with a username linked to Tarrio, posted that the Proud Boys would turn out in record numbers. During and after the siege, the same Parler account made posts that seemed to applaud the attempted coup and support the insurrectionists. But even after Tarrio's arrest and the violence on Capitol Hill, some experts warn what we're seeing now may not be the fall of the Proud Boys.
So the Proud Boys are not going to waver at all in a Biden presidency. They're going to be more emboldened because they're going to be really re-victimized in the same way that Trump likes to see himself as a victim and see himself as kind of a persecuted figure.
The FBI is working on identifying extremists who participated in the attempted coup, including some Proud Boys. But even with that added scrutiny, experts have pointed out that the attack on the Capitol could work as a massive recruitment effort for groups like the Proud Boys.
If you're ready to fight for America, you have to move forward!
That is what Samantha Kuttner is worried about. And here's the question she thinks the future of the group hinges on. How persuasive is the image they're trying to promote? Do mainstream conservatives see them as a violent extremist group or as a fraternal drinking organization, here to protect Americans?
That's how they've been able to kind of pull a fast one on the public since they formed in 2016.
Kuttner says if the Proud Boys continue to grow, it will be because they've gotten so good at masking the most violent and intolerant parts of their organization, at passing themselves off as patriots.
I'm proud of your boy. Let's enjoy the rest of our night.